All right, man. It's STB Network. I'm here with the #1 professionally ranked lightweight fighter in Ohio, Josiah Harrell. Man, how you feeling?
Good. How you doing, boss?
I'm good, man. I did want to give you your flowers just to start it out, just because I feel like you're a pioneer of the sort, especially in the craft that you in, combat fighting, and making the UFC is a big deal, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's not as big as a deal is to me, just because I have bigger goals and dreams I want to do, but okay. I do appreciate it.
So is this like the start of your goals and aspirations?
It has to be the start. If I want to get to where I want to be and prove to people that they can get to where they want to be, then this is just the start.
Okay. So let's get straight to it, man. Jack Della Maddalena.
Mm-hmm.
Two fighters dropped out of that fight prior to you being called up.
Mm-hmm.
Had that not taken place, where do you feel your UFC debut would have been made, and at what point?
I've been saying since the beginning of last year, January, before even January, right around December, that my debut was going to be within that next year coming up. I told everybody this was my year. But depending on if it would have been straight into a contender series fight or like get my debut right away, that's where things would have got rocky. Because if I would have got my contender series fight and then they find this Moya, now I'm not signed under contract. Now I'm not signed with the UFC, and now I have to go out of pocket to go and try to figure everything out on my terms. I would have been, you guys would have seen like half-ass cheek out. I'd have been slutting around. You guys would have found me on OnlyFans. I would have done what I had to do.
Doing what you gotta do. Yeah.
But
and it was tough before that, because from my understanding, like you had a tough time kind of drawing opponents just because you were so victorious, and people don't want that L on their record. So like, how do you feel you would have managed with that until you got to the UFC?
I'm not afraid of losing. I think that that's a part of life, and luckily with me, God, whoever you want to call it, just probability, fate is not beat me up in the ring. He's not beat me up when it comes to my record. Being undefeated means something, but in life he's fucked me up.
Had a bout with you. Yeah, for sure.
So I've definitely taken my L's and I got used to it. But no, I think that I would have got to a point to where I would have faced someone who pushed me, but even if they beat me, the only thing that would have got excited, like the only thing that would have done was got me excited about, okay, there are people at this level.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, so it's like that's what I want. I want to crave challenge. I crave like being uncomfortable, because I know that pushes me. I crave going outside the box and being vulnerable and doing what I need to do. So as a person, I grow, whether that's physically, spiritually, mentally. Like growth is all I care about.
Bro, I'm glad you said that, because like that's what our whole brand is about. Like securing the bag is really securing yourself.
Yes.
You feel me? And you can't have growth without uncomfortability. How do you feel like you keep yourself in uncomfortable situations to allow you to keep going?
A lot of it has to do with just ADHD in general. Like I don't get motivated to do a lot of things. A lot of it's just being disciplined and trying to know myself. So I have to, before I do anything, I have to understand myself. Like if I just was like, I don't feel like doing this today, and I didn't question or I didn't ask myself like why, then I wouldn't do it. But now me understanding myself, me understanding that like, maybe I'm got a little bit of anxiety because I've never met these people, or maybe I'm just like not really feeling it because I just got done with sparring, or however it is. Like me knowing myself, knowing where my energy levels is at, knowing like what I did, is like I'm like, cool. Now, what did I say I was going to do? And me being disciplined and going, okay, this is what I said I was going to do, I'm going to do it. And then, so it's just about getting to that point of understanding myself and then putting that into the box and going, okay, I'm uncomfortable, good. Or maybe I don't want to do this, or maybe I do want to do this. We'll see, but I'm not going to puss out or bitch out because I don't feel a certain way. So it's like, it's just me being disciplined is the biggest reason behind that.
I feel that. So, you get the call from the UFC after, like I said, 2 fighters dropped out of the fight that you were set to be in. It's set to be your UFC debut against a ranked welterweight fighter. What is that process like? The UFC calling you, signing you to a contract, and then getting you in there, getting your pre-fight and all of that. And then what are your emotions during that entire span of things?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Like I had trouble sleeping. I was so excited. I was so on edge. Like I was ready. Whether it was winning, whether it was losing, I wanted to go out there, and whether I was going out on my shield or whether I was just enjoying the time in there and doing what I had to do, I was so excited to prove not only to myself, which was the big thing. But to others, like, hey, we're a problem. I was so excited to do that I had trouble sleeping. Like I had about so I was about when they called me, and I'll get to this. So they call me. They go, hey, are you interested in fighting Jack? I go, absolutely. Boom. I didn't really look.
No hesitation.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, it's because I mean, at this point, what do you do? It's like you get the NFL call you, hey, you got to start next week. You got to start next week.
You got it though.
Yeah, you got to start next week.
It's what
you
you've been asking for.
What do? You have to take that opportunity. And luckily, I've been in the mindset of, hey, I'm going to get this opportunity. This is my year. Right. I have to put my work in. I have to do this. There are no breaks. And luckily, I'm not. I don't have a social life. Like I'm getting better at it, and I'm trying to be more present. But I don't have a social life. So they call me up and they go, hey. This is before they got any news out. They go, hey, would you be interested in us putting you in the hat to fight Jack? I go, absolutely. It's like, whatever I got to do, boom. So I check my weight because that's all my coaches were worried about. They go, check my weight, and then, okay, I look up a weight. I go, 210. I go, all right. So we got 210. I got to make 170. I got 6 days. I go, okay. All right, well, let's see if I'm about it. So I'm like, all right. So I start running. I start getting my miles in about 5 to 10 miles a day. Start getting to a point where I'm cutting off ice cream and just trying to strictly go down. I bump my sparring up. Like usually people are like, oh, don't spar that week. Like I sparred every day, maybe twice a day. Getting to a point where I'm running 10 miles a day, and I'm just getting excited. And this is just the opportunity. They haven't even said that we're in yet. They're just going, hey, we could put you in this. I go, dope. So then 3 days go by. I'm like, damn, I don't even know. I'm just talking to my coaches. Like, I don't think they're gonna do this. I don't know if they would. It's like it's a lose for them. It's like they go in and have a good fight with me. That's a lose for Jack.
Yeah.
Like I know he wants to fight, and I know that's what he's about, and that's what it got me excited. But it's like in my head, I was trying to make it work common sense wise. And I'm like, they're probably not gonna do this. So I'm doing an interview, and it's a phone interview, and I'm on my phone. And my phone just keeps buzzing. I'm about halfway through the interview. My phone keeps buzzing. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm looking at my phone. My manager's trying to call me. I just decline them. I'm going back. I'm like, what's going on? Because my phone's just going on nonstop. And apparently they before anything, they're like, hey, you're fighting Jack. You're fighting Jack. I go, apparently I am. Like I just didn't know. So the guy interview was like, hey, it was like right on beat. He was like, hey, when's the next time you're gonna fight? I look at my phone. I go, probably next week, to be honest. He goes, what? Do we have can we get any information? I go, I don't think I can tell you this, boss. I don't think I can tell you this. So I'm over here chilling. And so it took about 4 days for us to get in the fight. But they gave us hey, do you want to get in this, get in the bag of opponents? But apparently that bag was real small because they were like,
people
cool.
start dropping like flies out of there.
So, I mean, at that point, it makes sense that, if there were not a lot of people that were willing to take that fight, which he's dangerous, which is like, okay, cool. But I had nothing to lose. So it's like you got someone who's dangerous, someone who's a problem, and one person has everything to lose while one person has nothing to lose.
And he's undefeated still, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I know I think he lost twice.
Okay.
But I want to say he's on a big streak right now.
Okay, because I actually watched the fight, the guy that replaced you, Basil Hafez, and I seen his strategy, and I'm like, man, Joey would have did that to a T. And how do you feel like that fight would have went if you were in that fight?
We don't know. I mean, on top of that, you got to remember Jack cut twice, so he made weight, had to bump up a little bit, and then made weight again. So he kept his weight low, but I'm sure that didn't feel too good. I don't know how much weight he's cutting, but I mean, if you're cutting a decent amount of weight and you got to make that twice in 1 week, that's not fun. So we got to remember that. But I was watching, and I mean, I can always say ifs, ands, ors, or buts, but at the end of the day, it's very hard to try to know what you would have done unless you were in there. There are holes, and we knew this. That's why we accepted the fight. And grappling wise, we knew his wrestling was the hole, and he gave access to the back a lot. And we were like, ooh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun. So it's we knew we were a problem. We knew he was a problem. We knew our way and our route to win, and I think that we would have got it done. But like I said, you can say all you want now. The fight didn't happen. Will it happen in the future? We'll see. I mean, I don't mind going up to 70, but we got to take care of the brain thing first. Right. So, I mean, I always have confidence, and as a fighter, you have to have confidence. You can't slack in that department and expect to do well. It's like you almost got to be just narcissistic in a way. that like, no, I can handle this. I can do this. I can maybe not them, but I can do this. But you also got to be on top and on your P's and Q's as well in there. So it's like a little bit of narcissism, a little bit of like, hey, we got to be real. Like let's be on our toes. But there's a weird mix of emotions going into a fight and while you're fighting, there's always that little bag of emotions you got to deal with.
Now, as a supporter, you can kind of be a little biased. So I look at you and I say there's nobody in the welterweight division that he can't beat. But truthfully speaking, there's a bunch of guys in the welterweight division that are top names. You got Kobe, Marty, you got Ian Gary, you got, a lot of guys. Where do you think you stack up in that division?
I'm definitely small for that division, and that's why I say lightweight is good. But it's like we're a problem. I know that.
Even the lightweight division is a bunch of competition.
And that gets me excited. Like you see, I'm just that makes me glow up. I'm like, fuck yeah, pushing myself. But like I said, I know those guys are good. I know all of them are good. I know Ian's good. Young coming up, he's good kickboxing range, good grappling. Been working on that with his Brazilian. Good guy as well. I was like, I met him a lot when I was at the PI. He's fucking hilarious. I know Marty's good wrestling, getting older. I know Colby's good. Probably like if he gets a shot at the title, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes it. Just because he's a little different style than Marty. But it's like all those guys are good, but that's what you expect. So it's like everybody at the top. It's like everybody in the UFC has a chance to be the best. So it's like at this point, I still have to make sure I believe in myself. At this point, I still have to make sure I put in that work. But it's a giant question mark. That's why you go, I want to push myself. I want to challenge myself. That's all those are. They're just obstacles. And then it's just me versus me. So I still have the confidence that I can pull it out. And no matter what happens, broken hand, fucking poked eyeball, whatever it needs to be, it's like I still have to have those options and opportunities to go out and do what I need to do. But it's like I said, it's me versus me. I still got to have that mindset of, yeah, let's go.
It's so tough because you it sounds like you strategize and you prepare as much as you can for a fight. But then you're in the fight and something that you don't think is going to happen or something that you didn't think would happen happens. For instance, I forget who it was that you were fighting, but the guy before, the guy you put through the cage door, you were kind of behind in that fight. You got bloodied up a little bit, and then you came back and got like a big third round victory. What is your mindset? Because I know you're even keeled throughout, but when you're facing a guy and you may be down 2-0 or the third round is your last chance, like what is your... Are you panicking? Do you get the urge to panic sometimes? Like, what is your mindset?
I'm not sure. Did you watch the fight? Because
I remember the end of the fight.
Okay, yeah. Defensively, I was sound. Like, he might not even won the first round, and we didn't even push space. Definitely didn't win the second round, and I put him on his butt, and I was on top the whole time. And the third round was just the same as the second round. Either way, whether I'm like I think it maybe lost 1 round as a professional, maybe 2 if you're going to count that first round against that guy. But even then, it's like you got to be able to deal with just bad things coming. It's like and that's just my life though. My life's nothing but adversity. So it's just getting to that point and going, okay, cool. I have to stay calm. I have a job I need to do, and then now it's just about it's like putting this puzzle together that's in front of you. It's like 4D chess. It's like he's the chess and he's a chessboard. Then you're on your own chessboard as well, and then you got 2 pieces facing each other. So it's like I got to maintain mental strength. I can't start thinking about what ifs, what could, or where I should be at. It's like I have a goal, an obstacle in front of me, and I need to take care of it. But trying to get to that point. Let's say I was down first. Let's say I was down in the second. It's almost like I need to be aggressive, but not to the point to where I'm putting myself in a bad position. So if I'm coming forward and I need to come forward to win, and I have to do this, I have to do it. I have to do it as safe as possible. I have to do it being as defensive as I can. But if that's my only option, that's what I get for losing those last 2 rounds. So it's like I lost those last 2 rounds. Now it put me in a box. I have one option. That means I got to put this guy out. In that case, I got to keep going forward, and he knows I have to put him out. So at that point, he could just run. He just touch, run, touch, move. It's like he doesn't have to fight. So you need two people in there to fight. It's like whether you're, and if you did watch the first round, you would see that whole time we both landed 100% of our kicks. It's like I was in his face the whole time, even moving around. I'm still in the striking range, and I checked. I want to say so he threw 24 kicks, and I checked 18 to 20 of them.
So about 75-80%.
Yeah, so it's like those kicks are like he's just throwing them. I'm like, it's not hurting. Are they points scoring? No. And then he did land a couple of them. He had some good leg kicks in there. But when it comes to just like that mindset you need to be in, if you're losing that first round, it's like you need to have that mindset now. How do I win this second round? Because by the third round, if you lost those last two rounds, you're in a box. You got something you have to do. And if you want to win, you can't go, cool, let me just chill. You don't have that option. You don't have that. So it's like as you go through these rounds, what you're trying to do is keep options open, keep opportunities open, because the more rounds you lose, the less that starts to narrow down. Because if you win, if you lose second round or first round, you lose first round, you win second round. It's like now it's up to the third round, but you don't have to finish. You don't have to finish. So at that point, you can go, okay, I got to be on my P's and Q's, and I got to do what I got to do. But like the more you lose in life and fighting, the less options you have, and that's where it gets down. It's like just trying to do small wins is all that matters. Is building the momentum up to you get to a point to where like, cool, I can see the options open out. If you only got one option, it's like you got to bite down and do it. It's like until your options open up. It's like, but if you have multiple options, you still got to go, okay, cool, this is what I prefer to do. This is the path I'm going down. If you go, this is the path I'm going down for 5 days to a month, cool, and then you skip, it's like your options are going to get smaller and smaller still. So it's just about understanding where you're at physically, mentally, spiritually, and going, okay, cool, I lost first round, I lost second round, I have no choice but to bring it. If I'm supposed to lose, it's gonna happen, but I'm not losing without a fight. Right. So it's always give and take, but that's kind of the idea that I would have behind it.
That's gems right there. You mentioned people having holes in their game. We spoke about the competition in lightweight and welterweight. How much do you feel like matchups play a part in UFC period?
Boom. As of right now, they're starting to get less and less. But like my generation and on, there are no big holes. So it's like you're gonna have to get to a point where you're fighting somebody, and your goal is not to go where they're the best at, and your goal is to get them to where you're best at. They're not gonna have giant holes. So you're just gonna be better than them in a certain area. It's like that's just how it is.
You gotta reel them into your arena. It's so crazy because I watched a fight like Sean Strickland versus Izzy last night, and Sean Strickland, who I couldn't imagine winning the fight, ends up winning the fight. What do you think was the biggest testament to him winning? Did he kind of reel Izzy out of his comfort zone? And
no, I think that Izzy got caught off guard because of how Sean was able to keep. Basically, he was on balance the whole time. He was able to keep himself not overreaching, not overextending. And Izzy's really good at catching you overextending. He's really good at baiting you to get you to fire off so he can counter you. And Sean just kept it real simple, stayed in tight, used his Philly shell, and just jabbed. And he did react, but not enough to where he couldn't, like, he get caught. He checked a lot of kicks, blocked a lot of kicks. His defense was good. He kept pressure, and he stayed behind his jab, which was also good. But it's like his job was to try to pull him out. Izzy's a trickster. So going against tricksters, like you can't charge in. It's like you can't be a Paulo Costa and come in because he's gonna catch you on the chin. It's like you can't be a Robert Whittaker because he's gonna catch you on the chin. He's like he blitz in. It's like that's timing. Now if you're based off of timing, Izzy got some good ass timing, elite level timing. But if you're just coming in and sticking to sound basics, making sure that defensively you're sound, making sure that you're not going out of position or overextending, it's like, cool, now I just gotta make sure I land more than you. Even if that's it, if that's as basic as the game plan gets, which it's not, it gets even more complicated than that, but he's keeping the pressure on. In the judge's eyes, that's a win. Right. Unless Izzy can figure a way to counter it and get him to pay for keeping that pressure on. He's jabbing a shit ton. It's like not only that, he's landing on strikes. He's like, he knocked Izzy down in the first. Izzy now knows he has that power, at least enough power to put him out. So Izzy kind of got to make sure he respects him. So now he's getting backed up. Now he's not going to overextend. And if you watch the Alex fight, Pereira, it's like, Pereira said that he got over emotional or overexcited to get the finish. It's like, but if you've seen that getting kicked and keeping that pressure, it's like those low kicks were killing, and it was just slow times over in. And then Izzy got him to play that game. He got him to bait in. He got him to get in. And basically, it's just Sean did a good job of not getting baited in. That's what it was. He stayed behind. Yeah, he stuck to his game plan, stayed behind his jab, and just looked for his shots. And you could see at the end, he was like, "Oh, there's 30 seconds left." You can see him, "Let's go!" And he's getting all excited. I'm like, that's fucking dope, dude.
No,
that's
I fuck with that, bro. And it's a good moment for UFC and just for anyone in life. I feel like it was just a big thing. Like, that's probably the biggest upset I've seen outside of Amanda Nunes, losing to me. But I wanted to ask you, man, you said getting into the UFC is just the start of your goals and aspirations. What do you want to achieve and get out of life, for one? And then what do you feel is your biggest accomplishment thus far in your life already?
Ooh. My biggest accomplishment is being myself. The biggest accomplishment is knowing where the successes might come, knowing where just mentally I should have quit or given up, and I didn't. That's my biggest accomplishment, is not giving up on myself. I would say physically, like trophy attaining, biggest accomplishment, I would say staying with my team. There was a point when I was just turning pro, me and my ex split up. I'm like mentally just not there, and I'm like, do I want to move? If I move and go to where they say you need to go, big name wise, so you need to go to Florida, you need to go to Cali. If I do that, it's like I would make it. But let's say it's 75, 50%. 75% chance I make it, 25% chance I don't make it. Cool. But who am I if I do that? I'm unloyal. It's like I'm like down to my bones. It's like it's just not me. So I go, yeah, I could do that, but it just don't feel right. It doesn't feel like that's me, and I wouldn't accept myself. So I'd say the biggest accomplishment was understanding that like I wouldn't be myself leaving if I left the people that helped me get here. I wouldn't be myself just going to those big names. It's like I'm always going to learn. We got the internet for that, and also I'll go and train with whoever I can. But that was those were probably my more mental accomplishments. But like just being able to go, nope, okay, I don't care what's going on outside. Is like you have to make sure you're maintaining character, pretty much.
I fuck with that. Nah, shout out to Grove City Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Absolutely.
And then what are the biggest things that you want to accomplish that you haven't yet accomplished in life?
So for some reason, fate, Lord, whatever you want to call them, probability, for some reason, I've gotten low in my life so many times. I've just never was like, let's end it. Like I've just never got to that point where I'm hopeless. So the one thing that I would love to do is to try to bring back a little bit of hope for people. You can see a lot of people school shoot, and you can see a lot of people getting to a point where they're just doing drugs, being homeless. You just see a lot of people being like, all they care about is fun. They think life's about fun, and I think that's like the closest you get to being hopeless. And then you're living right on the edge. You don't care about the future. You're not looking forward to, hey, what do I need to do to make sure my kids, my family, my peers are getting what they need to be like out of me. It's like I want to be able to bring back a little bit of hope for people to look forward to. It's like if people are only worried about today, it's like you'll have fun, but like by the time you're dead, or by the time you are in your deathbed, you're gonna have so many regrets, and that's not what I want people to go. So it's like, for some reason, I've never lost hope. I've always been hopeful. So I would think one of my biggest goals will be to bring back a little bit of hope for people.
Okay. You mentioned kids. Do you plan on having children?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As many as I can have. No, I'm a problem. I'm like, cool. I'm like, let's get it.
No, I'm the same, man. I'm with that, man. What do you think? Because it's a crazy society that we're in right now. You said a lot of drugs, different kind of drugs. People just don't have hope anymore. It's so much negativity. It seems as if the negativity outweighs the positivity. And if there is a God or fate or whatever, that thing is it on earth? And and how do we substitute that? So what do you think you would pass on to your children? The biggest thing you would emphasize passing on to your children when you do have them?
I think the biggest thing I would try to pass on to my children would be it'd be the timing of how they accept like the dopamine, their excitement. Like, can you stop at this point and go, okay, I'm gonna work for the future, even though I'm not getting what I want right now. I know in the future I'm gonna get exactly what I want as long as I keep working, instead of going, hey, I don't feel correct right now, let me go and try to distract myself with parties and drinking or drugs and girls or this and this. So it's more about just staying disciplined and not allowing myself to go, okay, this is how I feel, I understand how I feel, or I don't understand how I feel, I need to distract myself. So instead of them going, cool, I'm gonna accept me being distracted, going, hey, no, where do I want to be in life? What do I want to get out of life? Whether it's finding a good partner, or whether it's becoming the best at whatever you do, whether it's trying to give people hope, however it is, it's like, what do you want out of life? And is these routes you're going, which one's going to give you the best option? Right. It's about just stopping thinking, delaying gratification, and getting to that point. So to just go back, it would be trying to delay their gratification enough to where they understand, hey, these are just emotions that are happening right now. Just because it's happening right now doesn't mean it's going to happen forever. It will pass, and just delaying that gratification as long as possible until they can get at least a better sight with what they're going. Maybe they're confused a lot, maybe they're just distracted a lot, just going, hey, okay, cool, you feel this way, this too shall pass. Oh, you feel good right now, this too shall pass. And then, okay, just delay the gratification just a little bit, and then the longer you can delay your gratification, the more you're going to get out of whatever you're working towards. So it'd probably be just delaying it.
It's so crazy that you say that, because something that I picked up on that you said earlier is that you had to go without a lot of stuff. It's a good thing you said that you don't have a social life, because that's one less distraction that you have. I feel like kids are growing up in the age where there's so many distractions, and it's hard to kind of avoid the distractions. But like you said, you're somebody that I consider successful in your own right. What do you feel is most prevalent that people have to, or at some point they will have to go without in order to reach their success?
I think it's all a spectrum, it's all a scale. So if we're going with social life, there was a point in me that I had absolutely no social life for probably about a year and a half, and all I realized is yes, I'm growing as a fighter, but mentally I was just getting worse and worse. So it's like this year or coming up in the last couple months, it was more about me getting to a point where I'm like, okay, how social can I be where it's not taking away from my dreams? And then trying to find that balance. So it's not about like getting distracted, and it's not about like going and trying to have fun and enjoying that. It's about finding that balance of, hey, this is where I want to be down in my life. What can I give, even if it's let's say 25% of your time is eating right, 25% of your time is sleeping right, 25% of your time is training. What can I split this 25% that I have to enjoy myself, to enjoy new hobbies, to go and push myself mentally or spiritually, physically? It's like that little time may not be a big time difference, but it's still what you have. What can you get out of that, instead of going, nope, let's get distracted, and then now instead of taking 5% of your time having a social life, now you're going, okay, here's 75% of my time, and you're going, why am I not getting better? It's like, okay, because you got too distracted. That's it. It's just about overconsumption is the biggest keys. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what you're getting out of it. It's if I was to die tomorrow, and I was living how I was living, I wouldn't be happy. It's like, because I know I have bigger goals, I have bigger aspirations and dreams that I want to accomplish besides giving hope. It's like, I want to be a UFC champion. If I can win 2, if I can convince Dana to make a 165, go 55, 65, 75, call it a day, let my boys that are coming behind me, my Ohio boys, and let them fucking run through things. It's like, that would be cool. If I couldn't get to that point, and let's say I died today, it's like, what did I do? Like, if it's socially, did I leave any good things behind? If it's spiritually, did I get to lift anybody up today? If it's physically, did I push myself today? Did I push others today? Did I make anybody else better today? And I go, cool, all right, Well, I did. I'm gonna have a good ass fucking day wherever I'm going. Whether it's hell, heaven, whether there is no in between, however it is, I'm gonna be making sure that if I die at any point in my life, that I have no regrets. Like that's why I don't care if I get embarrassed or if I get declined or however it is. Like I don't like.
You move on to the next.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like before you were as disciplined as you are, and man, I aspire to be at the level of discipline that you're at. But before you got to that point, what's some of the wildest things you could remember doing, like in your childhood or anything like that?
I was a badass kid. I was such a bad kid. I don't remember too much of my childhood. I don't remember bad things, but me and my boy Little Man, we would go and we would get chased by dogs in the junkyard. And we would just run on top of these roofs, busted glass, fucking rusty metal everywhere. And this was fun for us. We didn't, like in our heads, we weren't like, oh, we gonna die. No, it was like, cool, we're gonna get chased by this and we'll run across the junkyard. And we're playing lava. The floor is lava.
Yeah.
It's easy. And then you're going and getting chased by these dogs. You're like thinking back, you're like, that could have been real easy.
Yeah.
Slid on metal, slitting your wrist on glass. It's like, there was multiple times that I should have been put out with that. There's also times where we would just go to random people's yards and be like, that's a dope ass tree. And we would bring my dad's tools over and we just start building a tree house. They would come out and we would hear these four-wheelers and we're like, what the hell's going on? And these people coming out with shotguns and four-wheelers and we're running away. We're about 12, 11, but we're running away. My sister was with us at the time, Savannah, and we're trying to get past these fence. I'll tell you what type of person I was. Fuck y'all. I jumped the fence. Little Man, God bless him, he was like, nah, Savannah, you're getting over the fence. Because I was like, no, y'all can't fucking survive by yourself. Like, and that's the mindset I had. Is like, if you can't survive by yourself, if you can't like defend for yourself, then what am I doing here? So it was more of like a survival of the fittest is where my childhood got. And I just realized that I was craving so much intimacy. I was craving so much attention that I didn't get to be empathetic. I didn't get to understand or try to understand how other people are going through shit. I only had to focus on me because of how much stress I had in my life. Most of it was coming from home, most of it coming from school, but it's like, that's where I don't want to be. It's like, oh, you're kind of mature for your age. It's like, I've suffered all my life.
Right.
Like all my life. Like
when did that shift actually happen to where you started to be a little empathetic and started to understand the thoughts of others a little bit more?
3 years ago. It was about 21. It was when me and my ex broke up. I'm like, damn, people can go through this? I'm like, okay. So then it just allows me to start exploring and going, okay, where am I at? And why did I think that it was okay not to try to understand where people are coming from? And most of it was just because I spent most of my life defending myself and being ready for anything to happen at any moment. It's like I spent most of my time like just being anxious, and like just having anxiety and not even understanding I was anxiety, that I didn't get to think for anybody else. I didn't get to go, oh, like how's your day doing, man? It's like I didn't get to have those thoughts, and not because I like thought about myself, but because I was defending myself and I was ready for things to pop off and I was ready for things to go south, because that was my life, was things going south. I'm like, so it was just getting to that point and breaking up and going, damn, people can feel like this. All right, well, let me make sure that like someone cuts me off, like, cool, like I hope you're having a good, like that's how my mind started to shifting, is I would get cut off of like, man, I hope they're having a good day. Yeah. Like I'm not, I hope they're having a good day. And it would get to a point to where I was just so empathetic that it didn't even become about me. And that's where this dream came from, is I enjoy fighting. I know a part of me really likes hurting people, and I'm scared of that person, because it's like, how far can you take that? How far can you take enjoying hurting somebody until you go too far? So like a part of me is like, no. So I'm about 50-50 about loving fighting and hating fighting, but I need that side hating fighting, because if I just enjoy fighting and I enjoy hurting people, it's like, what am I going to become? So I'm a little scared of that guy, but as long as I'm disciplined, I'm going to be cool. But it's just about getting to a point where I'm like, all right, I love fighting, I hate fighting, cool, that's a nice balance, but this is not my dream. So my bigger dreams is, okay, I'm gonna do something that I may not want to do, or some days I do want to do it, but every day I'm working towards it to give other people some hope to go and just go, hey, you're not gonna feel right every single day. You're not gonna feel right. Shit, some days you're not even gonna want to get out of bed. Some days you're not gonna want to brush your teeth. It's like, cool, that's what life's about. Even if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, that is what life about. Life is about, is about, oh, I understand, hey, I don't feel good today, boom, and me not going, I need to quit fighting. Why? Because I don't feel good. It's like in tomorrow, next day, a week, I could be like, damn, I miss fighting.
Right.
So it's like, or let's say if I'm in a relationship, I don't feel right today, so let me just cut off anybody I'm talking to because it's their fault, instead of going, hey, what did I do today? What's wrong with me? Did I drink too much coffee? Am I stressed out and not getting it out? Did I not work out today and I'm beating myself up? It's like, okay, what did I do today? Cool. And trying to understand myself, but basically just getting to a point where it's like, yes, I'm going to have different emotions because that's what emotions are. They're going to ebb, they're going to flow, they're going to come up, they're going to come down. It's like, that's how emotions are. They're not logical. I need to understand that as I'm going through this path, or as I say I'm doing this for others to give them hope. It's like, as I'm doing this, I want them to understand that that's what life's about. Mm-hmm. It's about being disciplined. It's about being loyal when you may not feel like that. That's what real love is, I think, is understanding that, hey, it's like, we will have our ups or downs. I know the worst parts of you, I know the best parts of you, but no matter what, I'm here for you. No matter what. Like, stab me in the back, cool. Like, no, I'm not changing myself to please you or please others. It's like, no, if that's how it is, I love you. I can love you from a distance, but I'm not going to bend and scrape if it's not me. Right. If it is me and you think I am bending and scraping, then that's on your delusion of what love is. If you think me doing whatever I can for you is too much, then cool, go find someone who's too little. If that's what, because that's what you're looking for. So it's like, cool, I'll bend and scrape. But if that's what you think that it is, oh, I'm doing too much, it's like, cool, you don't know what real love is. Right. It's like, go find it. I wish you the best, and I do love you, whether you hate that or not. It's like, cool, I'm gonna do what I can do for you. But it's like, I'm not going to bend myself in a pretzel mentally, spiritually, physically to try to please you.
Into someone else's
exactly.
life.
It's like, if my love's not for you, cool. I'm going to go find someone that enjoys what I have to offer.
That's a gem right there, bro. I was going to ask you to give advice to somebody that might be in the same position that you were in, but that was it right there. One last question, man. You say you have a love-hate relationship with fighting.
Yeah.
What do you think fuels you to go out there and be the best you can be every time you go out there?
I'm hard-headed as fuck. I enjoy proving people wrong, whether it's people that left me in my life. So I have a stepdad, which God bless him, but I don't have my real dad. I've never met him. So I'm like, cool, you didn't believe in me from the rip. So a lot of it's just like, all right.
That's one person.
Yeah, that's one person. And then pretty much anyone who's left me, anyone who's like, nah, you can't do this. And it's weird because right before I got on the UFC, I was like, I don't really have haters. Like, I'm trying to, like, there's nobody in my life like
sitting there doesn't want you to win and shit.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for snakes. And this is what I'm doing. I'm waiting for snakes. Like, where are they at? And I'm just looking, and I'm like, damn, I'm spending more time looking for negative things than I am just enjoying what I have. So I'm like, if the snakes are gonna come, they're gonna come. If the haters are gonna come, they're gonna come. But it was just like, I was spending so much, like, I guess, negative energy, just looking for negative energy, when I'm like, damn, my life, I got good ass people in my life. Like, there's nothing but me being thankful and getting to that point of backing up of my brain. Like literally, you spend all of my life threatening my life. Like, at no point should I have been like, cool, I had a car accident when I was 16, right before wrestling, my states wrestling. It's like, should have died there. It's like, without my brain disease. Now you put my brain disease in there. It's like, anytime I'm cutting weight and I get too low, anytime I faint and pass out. We used to play the pass out game as a child. You go, oh, hold your breath, put your chest against the wall. You go, boom, boom. You wake up like, bro, I was dreaming. You're like, that literally, I could seize up. I could, like, that's
anything can happen where it's a permanent damage.
Actually, yeah, so it gets to a point where I'm like, I have to be so thankful in my life at this point that I'm going, anything could happen. At this point, I can do nothing but to go, all right, if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. So that's where kind of like my belief in higher power going, and that's what I would get to. If anyone feels lost or anyone feels like they're 50-50 in anything, it's like, okay, that's okay. It's okay not to be 100%. And you're gonna find shit you hate about somebody. You're gonna find shit you love about somebody. It's like, it's about you understanding emotionally where you're at. You understanding financially where you're at, and going, cool. Do I want this? No. Easy money. Or getting to a point to where you're good with whatever outcome comes, and that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. I'm like, I'm ready for whatever. It's like, I'm not going to look for snakes, because I don't want to spend my time looking for negative energy. And
meanwhile, you're dealing with, obstacles that 90% of people would never deal with anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so you might not find the snake in another entity, but you find it in a disease that you face, and that's keeping you from, you know, chasing your dream. When do you think the next time, you know, for people and others that are fans of you, when do you think the next time we'll see you fight is?
Boom. We'll see. If I had to put it down into the universe right now, I would say 2024 May. March wouldn't even be bad. 2024 May or March. They give us, so when I get my surgery, it should be between now and November at the latest. So if we get that and we have 3 to 6 months to heal up, depending on how my brain goes, we can get right into it. So it's just more about like leading up to the fate, God, whatever it is. It's just, okay, if this is supposed to happen now, beautiful, I'm gonna aim for that. I'm gonna make sure I'm in good shape. I'm gonna make sure my weight's down. I'm gonna make sure everything on my end is taken care of so I don't have regrets. Because the last thing I wanna do is, oh, hey, you're good to fight. Now you're 210 and you like, good luck, you gotta get your weight down. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't want that, so I would just make sure I'm maintaining. I'm still sparring. I'm still getting choked. So even today, like I just got done sparring. Even today, it's like, hey, if God wants to take me out, it's like I can't argue with him. I'm like, cool. If that's what's supposed to happen, there's no point in me. And this is kind of my mindset behind it. If I want to fight the best people in the world, they're not going to stop training because of me. And if I've already spent most of my life with this disease, if I've already spent most of my life going, hey, I'm either going to make it or I'm going to die trying, what am I doing different? I'm either going to make it or I'm going to die trying. So it's like, it's at this point, it's not much of a jump. Now we just know there's dangers. Now I just have to be a little smarter when I'm doing stuff. Now I got to make sure my ego is not there. Hey, am I getting choked? Cool. You won that round, dope. All right, it's just about understanding myself and knowing where I want to be. And I can't expect these people that are the best in the world to stop and wait for me. They're not going to do that. I have to get better. That is the only option I have. And maybe this is my version of me getting put in a corner. It's like, hey, you got a brain disease. You have 2 options. Okay, you get the brain disease, don't get the brain disease. If you get get the brain disease taken care of or don't. So if we don't get surgery, I'm dying at 40. Season up at 40. If 40, 45, 46, like 40s, I'm not making it. So now, cool, if I don't get it, if I don't get surgery, I don't get to spend as much time as I would with my family. Or maybe at this point I go, why would I make a family to put them through that? So it's like, okay, I don't even have an option to get the disease or this taken care of or not, because I go, cool, I want children more than anything. So this option, out of there. I have one option. I'm pushing to a corner. I have to get this thing done. Cool. Now, do I train or not train? If I don't train, what happens? I'm not getting better. If I do train, I have the possibility of getting better, but at least I'm in shape. At least I'm like timing and everything wise, I'm good. Okay, well, worst case scenario, at least my timing, at least I have the possibility of getting better compared to not getting better. So I have to train. It's like I'm just putting myself
back into the corner where you face these decisions and you're going to do what you were destined to do.
Exactly.
And truthfully, I feel like, you know, God or whoever you believe in, whatever you call it, your toughest battles or the toughest battles are given to the toughest soldiers. And you're facing what you're facing because you have the ability to get past it. And like, just as a fan of everything you've done, bro, I'm in your corner 100%, bro. I know you're going to prevail from this shit, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the UFC, man, throughout life, bro.
Thank you.
For sure, man. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Josiah Harrell.